Hey everyone, it's Christine and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I share tips about simple and sustainable living. It's quite a big passion of mine, which is why today I am sharing a couple different options for more sustainable wedding dresses. To give a little bit of context here, I did get married last January. Can't believe it's already been a year. But this year, I actually have the privilege of coordinating my friend's wedding. And they're looking to have a very similar kind of sustainable, zero-waste wedding, similar to what I did last year. So I thought, why not kind of go back in time, take a look at some of the things that I did last year, add a few more options, and share that with you as well. So in the case that you guys are planning a wedding or this is actually interesting for you, feel free to put down in the comments below any suggestions of what else you would like to see regarding wedding planning, and I'll do my best to answer those in future videos and also plan some more awesome content for you guys. One more thing to note is that a lot of these principles can also be applied to formal events in general. We all know, at least for myself, I would buy dresses and then I would wear them once or twice, maybe in a year, and then never again, and they would just collect dust in my closet. So it's a really great way to reduce waste if you keep these things in mind. So I really hope that they are also helpful. So my first tip of what to do for a sustainable wedding dress is what I did. I borrowed. So some of you might have seen my wedding post and video about what I did for my wedding to make it more sustainable, and you guys might know that I actually borrowed my sister's dress. She just got married about half a year earlier, so we had very close weddings, and luckily we're very similar sizes. So in the case that you have a friend or a sibling that has recently gotten married that has a dress that they're willing to let you borrow, go for it. Like, that is an awesome way to, reduce the demand for wedding dresses that are produced every single year. And a lot of times these dresses are only worn once, so my sister was more than happy to let me go ahead and borrow hers. There's also a chance that you might not want to look exactly like your sister or your friend that recently got married in the same dress. So what I did is I ended up putting a bridal topper on it, so it looked a little bit different. But yeah, if you really want to make the style your own, then you can also just play around with different bridal separates and look for different ideas on Pinterest. And yeah, Pinterest is a great place to find a lot of inspiration as to what you can do to make your wedding day look a little bit more special. So the second option for a more sustainable wedding dress is to rent one. This is actually one of the first ideas that I came up with because I really just did not want to have more clutter, especially a large wedding dress just sitting in my closet. So do check out your local boutiques and see if there's any local stores that do so. Otherwise, I also tried Rent the Runway. I tried them at first for a different event, but there's also some more like white dresses on there that are a bit more simple that can also pass as a wedding dress, so that's also a great option. And I'll also be posting a couple different links as well of other rental sites that might be helpful for you in the case that you also want to rent for your wedding. The other thing to keep in mind is that rentals can also apply to the rest of the bridal party. So for Peter, he actually rented his tux because he's always fluctuating in size, so we did that for him and also his best man. And then for the bridesmaids, there's also a lot of options to also rent dresses. At the time, there's a company called Vow to Be Chic in which we were able to rent the dress from there, but they no longer exist anymore, which is kind of sad. But Rent the Runway, again, might be a great option because they do have some very simple, long or short dresses that might be great for a bridal party. And another quick thing, if you are looking to buy a used bridal separate, I'm also selling my bridal topper because I honestly, it's just been sitting in my closet. So in the case that you guys are interested, I'll put the link for that in the blog post as well. You can message me for sizing and anything else that you want to ask about the piece. So in the case that you aren't able to borrow a wedding dress or rent one, the third option is just go ahead and buy a used one. I know that I checked Poshmark, I checked Craigslist, there's just a lot of different options. So again, I'll link all the different sites that I've found recently below as to where you can buy some used wedding dresses that might be even more affordable than buying a new one. So the fourth option, in the case that you can't borrow, rent, or you just don't have a dress that you like that you're finding used, is to just go ahead and buy a new but more sustainable option. So when I was looking last year, some brands that came to mind were Reformation. They have a bridal line that's actually quite affordable, but the other website I would actually really recommend is Etsy. That was actually one of the places I looked to for a more sustainable wedding dress, and it's also the place where I got my bridal topper made out of organic cotton lace, which is really unheard of for a lot of just like regular bridal shops. So the fifth option, in the case that none of the four above work, or in the case you are really crafty, is to just go ahead and make your own dress. So this is actually the plan that the bride-to-be that I'm planning for, that is what she's doing for her wedding this year, which is amazing because I know for me, I can't even use a sewing machine, which I should probably learn. You might have some relatives that are really good at it, and that way you guys can really customize your own design. You can source all the fabrics yourself to make sure that they're more natural, eco-friendly. So I'll just go ahead and link a few more other videos and posts that I've seen of people making their own wedding dresses in the case that you want to be inspired and you might be up for a bit of a large DIY project. My sixth idea, or just something to keep in mind, is to get bridal separates and make it multifunctional. If you get a dress that maybe you can alter after your wedding day to make it look like a normal everyday piece. Let's say you get like a simpler dress and then you just shorten the hem so that you can use it for just like a nice Sunday dress. I know that some people also buy different separates, like a bridal top and a long white skirt, so you can always get, you know, two different pieces that could just totally work in your everyday wear, but then when put together they actually look really nice. So the seventh thing to keep in mind regarding a sustainable wedding dress is you might want to sell it again in the case that you bought one and you want to reduce the clutter in your home, and you also want to give it another chance for someone's special day. So in that case, I would recommend looking for more timeless styles that are just very simple and nothing crazy, so that, you know, it's gonna have a high likelihood of being bought again. In the case that you do have a wedding dress from maybe decades ago, you'd be surprised that there are also some brides out there that really like the vintage look, and there are so many vintage shops out there that are looking for really unique dresses to purchase from people like you. So look up those different vintage shops, see if maybe someone on Etsy would be willing to add it to their vintage collection. And yeah, I think there's a lot of brides that are really into repurposing these vintage looking pieces to make them a little bit more modern for their special day. So those are 7 different things that I would keep in mind for a more sustainable wedding dress. And one more thing, if you guys also use any of these ideas in your own wedding, please do tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to see how you look on your special day and just hear your story for what you're doing for your wedding too. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found the content helpful in the case that you're planning your wedding or have a formal event coming up, and I'll be in touch soon with another video. Bye!